Hey, it's Joy. Before we get started, please like, subscribe, and comment on the video, please. So, I just wanted to introduce myself a little bit more on my channel. Basically, I'm a transgender woman. I'm 42 years old. I started transitioning back in 2020 of right at the gist of the pandemic, and I just decided that because of all that I've gone through, I've been through previously. When I was 19, I went through leukemia. I had leukemia for 3.5 years, and went through all of that. A lot of chemo, a lot of surgeries, a lot of rigorous chemotherapy that damaged my body, my nerves. I had lost the ability to walk for about 3 years. Was on braces on my legs, and just ups and downs. And I just had a very difficult time, only close to near death with many of the situations that I've been through. But basically, I've gotten through it. I decided, that I was going to keep going no matter what adversities and challenges that came my way. And if I had a choice, that I was going to keep moving forward, and I was going to defy the odds of surviving. So basically, I survived, and I got through all, and yeah, it was difficult. It was really difficult, but I got through it. And at a time, we don't know in our challenges. We really don't know what's going to happen from day to day, but we have to just stay positive and stay focused on doing the right thing. And just for ourselves, of course, of anything. I didn't have a whole lot of people in my life, but I did have my parents at the time, and I had my sisters and whatnot, and they helped me through it. And then, fast forward, I had chemotherapy from 2001 to 2004. I decided that I was going to go back to work. I started working at a local town, doing some maintenance and groundskeeping. I did that for a while. I did that for a really long time. I did that from to 2016. And then I decided that I wanted to go on a trip to Florida. And I went to Florida, and I had a lot of issues with breathing and walking and whatnot. And it was really difficult. Long story short, I ended up going back home, finding out that I had a stroke during the time that I was in heart failure. My heart was only pumping at 25%, and they immediately put me into the hospital, admitted me into the hospital, transferred me down to New York City. And while I was at New York City, they decided that they were going to come up with a plan on what they're going to do in order to save my life. And in order to allow myself to continue living another day, they had to implant something called an LVAD. It's called a left ventricular assist device. And during this time, while they were scheduling to do this surgery, it's completely open heart. They cut you open, they rip you open, they put a motor connected to your left ventricle in your heart, and it basically pumps your heart. Wire coming out of the abdomen, a motor, batteries. You're living on batteries and electricity until you receive a heart transplant. It's basically a bridge to heart transplant. So I was on that for 1.5 years. Had a lot of complications during that time while I was waiting. I had a MRSA infection in my driveline, which is the wire that comes out of my abdomen. It got infected from showering and stuff. Bacteria can get in there. It got infected. So they had to basically dig it all out, dig out the infection, complete crater in my abdomen, put a wound pack on, and deal with that. During that time, I was in an isolation booth in the hospital. I was I couldn't have really any visitors, no nothing. And then during that time, I really focused on my faith and my life, and I was just praising God that I was going to get through it all, and I was going to come through on top. With my positive mind frame, I ended up getting out of the hospital, and I knew it was close. I knew it was time. Like, I was the next one on the list for the heart transplant. They had told me that, and I was waiting probably over a month for a match to actually come through to be the next one for my match. Because what happens is you're on a UNOS list, and when your match hits, you're the next one to get that particular heart. But other hearts can come through. There could be different blood types, different whatnot, that are different sizes, that may not hit your match. So you obviously, being that you're in the next one, you're not going to get those because those are not your match. So the next person that's on the list for those matches actually gets those hearts. So finally, I like felt it was really close. So I had gotten a call like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, basically to get the heart. And I don't know what I felt. I felt relief. I felt sorrow in the process, because I knew that because I was getting a heart, someone had to lose their life. And I thought about that, and like, it bothered me, but you know, their life is not lost in vain or anything. They clearly were already, like, basically had no other hope in surviving or having a actual, like, way of living, being alive and living life. So their family decided that they were going to have them be a heart donor, or they decided on their own that they were a heart donor, and it was listed on their documentation. But yeah, it was just it was a blessing, and you know, and I thank the family that they gave that gift, and I'm very close with them. Her mother is in fact like almost like another mother to me. She's really great. We kind of have like a love-hate relationship with each other, but she's amazing. We really get along really well, and I love her to death. I found that out after who the heart donor was. It actually ended up becoming, it was actually heart ended up being, she got into an accident 7 miles from my house, and was one of my friend's best friend. And which is bizarre and does not happen. You'll never hear this story in a million years. You never hear this story. Like, and I got that heart 70 miles from my house. I ended up getting a heart transplant. I woke up 8 days later, had a lot of issues, complications, whatnot. I was in severe delirium. But I will be sharing a lot of this in my book, details, like full-on details. I am coming out with a book, hopefully later this year, to have released, and I have all my details on like my life transition, everything, what I've gone through, you know, life lessons, whatnot, and whatnot. And so I woke up, you know, and started regaining my life and getting my life back, and healing, whatnot. And then in 2020, I was having pain in my abdomen, and I decided that I was going to go to the hospital and get checked. They come back with the results. They turned around and said, "You have renal cell carcinoma." I'm like, "What?" "It's kidney cancer." I'm like, no, this cannot be happening. No. I'm like, okay. My response, okay. So my mind immediately started going into like, what are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do now? Survival mode. What else can we do? My mind goes into like kind of like a depression, but kind of like, I've been through so much. I got this. What's the worst that can happen? I don't make it. I mean, it is what it is. Like, I'm living my life. So that a lot of those questions really brought questions in my head. Like, am I living my best life? Am I living for who I always, you know, you know. So briefly, I'm gonna tell you, like, when I was like between like 5 and 7, I remember like feeling different. I remember being drawn to like female things, but not really expressing it because I knew it was like taboo, and like I don't want to, you know, people would be, oh, you're gay, da 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 da. I didn't, you know, like at that age, you don't know what gay is really, but you know that you hear the word, you hear, back then it was frowned upon. It is Friday. I know you're probably going out this weekend. And it wasn't that I had an attraction to other, you know, people. It was really like feminine things. You know, you can't play with girly things, you can't do this, you can't do that. But I know I was always drawn to it. I was drawn to makeup, I was drawn to like toys and, you know, girly things, girly colors. But how do I do that? Like, how do I express that without really like saying anything? So I kind of just like suppressed it for so many years. And then growing up, like I would every once in a while like dabble in like, you know, maybe like my sister's clothing or, you know, makeup or something, but nothing like crazy. Like I would just to kind of have that feeling of like being normal, or feeling like a sense of calm, and that's what it would do for me. And always kept suppressing it. So basically after the you know, I dealt with all of that. Long story short, I'm gonna fast forward all the way up because I don't want to keep too long on this video. But long story short, when I had the kidney cancer, I decided I need to heal. I need to get approval from my doctors. I'm starting hormone therapy, and I want to transition. I need to, like, for my mental health, I need to transition. I started going to therapy. I started in early 2020. I started before hormones. I started dressing in public to like my doctor's appointments and stuff like that, to kind of like get myself comfortable into society, like socially transition before hormones. So I did that like all of 2020. It was kind of like really easy because of the pandemic. A lot of things were closed. A lot of different protocols went up. So well, I went through all of that, dealt with all of that. They put me on hormones April of 2021, I believe it was. And then I had to figure out, like, how am I going to tell my friends, my family, how am I going to tell everybody? Like, what are they going to say? And I kind of figured, like, well, just gonna have to deal with it. I don't want to like share too much because I am writing a book, and I want to include all the details and the personal matters of like what I've gone through, how I handle it, how I experienced it. But I'm gonna shoot forward a little bit more. I was on hormones. I started feeling different. I started feeling more of a sense of self, well-being. My thoughts of harming myself or going down, but also in fear. But then I had that fear of like rejection, and I ended up coming out probably 2021. I came out to everybody, and I lost a lot of people. I lost a lot of people in my church. I lost everybody from my church, basically. I used to be a youth minister. I lost everyone from my church. They didn't want no part of me. I kind of allowed myself to back away. They didn't try at all to reach out. And they were definitely, that's definitely something frowned upon in the ministry. Whether they understand it or not, it is what it is. They were my family for a long time. They helped me through so much, being who I was at that time. And I do appreciate that, but I lost that part, so that was hard. That was really hard. I mean, no one's ever like reached out. They kind of just like let me walk away. And I mean, it was partly my choice as well. And of course, they didn't come and check on me or anything else, because I think they just wanted me to just fall away, because they didn't want to like be faced with that rejection, really. I mean, they didn't want to be faced with like that constantly like arguments, and so I had acquired about going to different ministries, different churches. I was told that I could only come there if I presented as my old self. So my name is Joy now. My old name was Joseph. It was who I am. A lot of people don't like, a lot of trans women don't like to express their old name, because it gives them a sense of dysphoria. It was who I was. It was my name. I have no dysphoria over that. It's who I was. I knew who I was on the inside, but that's who I was presenting at the outside. So it is what it is, and I have no shame in that. I'm living my best life now. So I was rejected from that. Where was I? I lost my train of thought. But I mean, I just started. I continued doing transition. I changed my name in 2021, September 21. September 2021, I changed my name to Joy legally. Documentation's got my everything. Started working for Dollar General. Had a lot of issues with Dollar General, with them accepting, them like changing my name and everything. I had started earlier before that, but I started as Joy, but my legal name when I first started was Joseph, and I was put into the system. So it would still be posted on like the schedule, but they would like sometimes cross it out and whatnot. But I didn't really feel comfortable with that. And I asked them if they can change it. They said there was no way. So eventually I changed my name September, and they wouldn't change it in the system. They wouldn't change it on my my paychecks, my tax documents, nothing. And they needed to. So I knew that they needed to change it before the end of the year, because I would be getting my W-2s and my name doesn't reflect the old name. So I wouldn't be able to file taxes because it had long changed already. So I was going through a lot of issues. September passed, nothing. They're like, these things take time, these things take time, these things take time. But what it was is, even the district manager, Peter was constantly coming in and addressing me by the wrong pronouns, calling me sir constantly. And it's not that I'm crying about it. I'm not crying about it. Like, simple mistakes happen. They can happen. Understandable. But I presented very well. Female. Constant. I would always wear my makeup. I would, my voice is a little deep, and I granted that that's something that bugs me, but it is what it is. I've been through too much crap in my life to like worry about, come on. So I just wanted to be presented just like anyone else and feel like you respected me and feel comfortable in my environment. Now what customers did, that's a totally different situation. Society will do that. Society will misgender me. Society will do whatever they want to do to me. I can't say a lick about it. Free country, free speech. It is what it is. Get over it, right? But in my environment where I'm presenting every single day, I'm going every single day, I'm there every day, I'm going to take care of it, because I don't want to have to deal with that every single day. And in an environment that I have to go continuously. All right. So September passed, October passed, now we're rolling into November. What's going on? Like, I need this change. And it didn't get changed. So I asked my manager, I'm like, Rebecca, like, can they understand change? She's like, Joy, I'm so sorry. I'm trying. I'm calling corporate. I'm calling Peter. Peter's working on it, which is the district manager. He can't get it taken care of. Personally, I don't think he was trying hard enough. I don't think anybody was really pushing for it. to have it changed. I don't think anybody really thought it was a priority. I knew that my store manager actually did, but because she was very sympathetic on it. She was very like always worried about being concerned, and like this needs to happen. I don't understand, Joy. I don't understand why it's not being done. It's not being done. It's not being done. I'm gonna call Peter again, but blah blah blah. So so eventually, after all of this, I decided that I was gonna take matters into my own hands and do what I felt was the best option, because nothing was getting done. My store manager did everything that she can do, and nothing was getting done. So I reached out to a local news channel, Blaze Gomez News 12, Hudson Valley, New York. I messaged her in the morning. She had gotten back to me and says, "Can you meet me in your uniform in front of Dollar General at 2 o'clock?" I said, "Absolutely." So I went there at 2 o'clock. The film crew came. She interviewed me. We talked about it. She's like, "This will air at 5 o'clock. Be ready for backlash. Be ready for positive and negative all around, blah, blah, blah." It aired at 5, and everybody saw it. Everybody saw it. It got around town. Like, our town is a small town. It got around town. I went to sleep, and in our phones, we could get into the employee portal. We could sign in from outside of work. We can't do any work on the portal, but we can sign in and like see our information and see our paychecks and whatnot. So I signed in at like 6 a.m. just for shits and giggles, And as soon as I signed in, it said updated to Joy. Like, it said Joy. It said my name, Joy, and it said my full name. I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay. So I go on the news, and in less than 12 hours, it's changed. But yeah, everybody for months, over 3 months, was saying these things take time. These things take time. But not even 12 hours after I air on the news, it gets changed. It's because things got pushed. All right, things got pushed. People were like, "This hit the news. We need to have this changed." They didn't. The news did try talking to them and trying to see whether or not they would respond to what was going on. They refused to comment. They refused to respond because they were very well in the wrong. And it was more of the district manager that was the a-hole that really didn't push it. So after it was changed, I started applying for different jobs because I wasn't happy there. And I was in the office training somebody else to do my job, because I was a lead. And I was in the office. I get a knock on the door. Open up the door. It's the district manager, and I would say, "Hey, Peter, what's going on?" He goes, How you gentlemen doing?" I was like, "Excuse me? Oh, I'm sorry. That's what he says. What happened? I was on the news. Things happened. You got a lot of backlash. This has been an ongoing issue. Like, mainly for him, because like his blood was probably boiling. So I can see, as a normal human being, like not that he wasn't a normal human being, but I can see, like a normal bystander or somebody that would make that mistake. But after going through all of that BS with the news and everything and the company, and you'd be on your, like, I don't know, like, not best behavior, but like you would be on your A game. Like, you would make sure, like, oh, I got to take care of this. I got to make sure, like, this happens, that our company gets represented properly, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, this is not okay. So I went on an interview like the next day at Ulta Beauty, and I basically knew I was hired on the spot, but they didn't let me know until like 3 days later. And that job has been, like, the team that I have at that place, is like amazing. I don't deal with any discrimination. I deal with everything is fair, everything is respectful. I'm just one of the girls there. I'm able to do my job. I'm able to learn more. I'm able to expand. I'm able to do so much more. They give me an opportunity to do amazing things, and I don't think that would have been possible like at any other place. And I'm there still, and I'm currently going there. I'm currently there still, and I'm dealing with a lot. But as far as like preparing for transition, preparing for bottom surgery, I'm actually going in for bottom surgery in less than 3 weeks. Yeah, I'm just in awe, like where I'm at right now. I don't want to like keep going. I want to stay for more videos, but basically, I'm going in for bottom surgery in like less than 3 weeks, and I'm going to continue filming, documenting everything that I'm going through to help others like out there. But I'm also coming out with a book. I don't want to say the name of the book that I'm coming out with yet until I can get it like finalized, but it's gonna be amazing. I hope that I'll let everyone know that when it's out, so you can go pick up yourself a copy. If I can send it to you personally, I will sign it for you. But yeah, so I hope y'all have an amazing day. Don't forget, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share it out. Get it out there. If anybody wants to hear it, we all have our ups and downs. I could be a bundle of joy, you know, in any situation, no pun intended. But I just hope that you guys have an amazing day. I hope you guys are smiling always and stay amazing.